Good day, algebra students. Today's lesson is 2.2. We're going to be solving one-step equations. Today we're going to be focusing on solving using addition and subtraction, whereas tomorrow we will be doing multiplication and division. So solve equations using addition or subtraction. In an equation, the variable represents the number that satisfies the equation. To solve an equation means to find the value of the variable that makes the equation true. The process of solving an equation requires assuming that the original equation has a solution and is isolating the variable with a coefficient of 1 on one side of the equation. Each step in this process results in equivalent equations. Equivalent equations have the same solution. So we're going to be working on solving equations for a couple weeks now, a couple weeks going forward. But we're going to start out very basically. We're going to solve by breaking the addition or subtraction. But when we get into multi-step equations, that's when you're really going to see this play a factor. So I'm going to go ahead and do our first concept. Our first key concept is the addition property of equality. If an equation is true and the same number is added to each side of the equation, the resulting equivalent equation is also true. Basically what this means, if I add anything to the left side of the equation, I must do the exact same thing to the right. So if I add 3 on the left, I have to add 3 on the right. If I add 10, I have to add 10 on the other side. So for any real number A, B, and C, if A equals B, then A plus C equals B plus C. That's essentially what's going on. So 14 plus 3 equals 14 plus 3, 17 equals 17. So we're going to do this and you're going to see. So what we have here is C minus 22 equals 54. So to undo, I want to get C by itself, and the way I do that is I need to move this minus 22 to the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, instead of subtract 22, I'm going to do the opposite, which is add 22. And if I add 22 to both sides, negative 22 plus 22 is 0, so they cancel out, and I get C equals 54 plus 22 is 76. So C equals 76. And that's my answer. So let's do a couple more examples. So 113 equals G minus 25. So to undo the subtraction here, remember, I'm trying to get my variable by itself. So on the same side of the variable, if I were to draw a line through, a dotted line through my equal sign, I have my left side is 113, my right side is G minus 25. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the opposite. Instead of subtracting 25, I'm going to add 25. So plus 25. They cancel on the left or on the right, so all I'm left off with is G equals 3 plus 5 is 8, 1 plus 2 is 3, so 138 equals G. So J minus 87 equals negative 3, so to undo the minus 87, I'm going to plus 87. 87's cancel, and I get J equals negative 3 plus 87. So this is the same thing as saying 83 minus, or 87 minus 3, which is 84. So that was our addition property of equality. Now we're going to have our subtraction property of equality, which is essentially the same thing, except it's subtraction instead of addition. So see how I have 63 plus m equals 79. that's a positive 63. So in order to move that, I have to do the opposite. So instead of adding 63, I'm going to subtract 63 from both sides. So the 63 minus 63 cancels out. I get m equals 79 minus 63 is 16. M equals 16. Do a couple more and then I think you guys will have it on your own. So I have 27 plus k equals 30. So that's a positive 27. So I'm going to subtract 27 minus 27. So I get k equals 30 minus 27 is 3. Another way to look at this, 27 plus what equals 30? Well, we know 27 plus 3 equals 30. Negative 12 equals p plus 16. So p is what I want by itself, so I'll subtract 16 from both sides. 16's cancel, and I'm left with p on the right side. But if you notice, these are both negatives. So a negative minus a negative is you add them up and keep the sign. Same sign, add them up and keep the sign. So 12 plus 16 is 28. And they're both negative, so it's negative. So p equals negative 28. And that's it for addition or subtraction. So your assignment is going to look like this. You have your page 1. It just has everything we just talked about, but just a couple examples for you, and then you have some problems to do. So you're just going to go ahead and you're going to say, oh, add 3. Oh, and so forth and so forth. So there's 3 pages. All right, guys, have a good one.